Let's read this first one first. We care about privacy. Accept it. Okay. Eurogamer. Dawntrail criticism. Wait, Dawntrail got criticism? When Dawntrail, the latest expansion, MMO, okay, released in June in March, story, new story. Oh, story criticism. Shallow first half and many of its familiar characters, the science given considerably less screen time. Bro. The science is supposed to be disbanded. 6.0 is the finale of Vidalin Zodiac and the end of the Scions. So this time not getting screen time to them makes sense. The reason they are given less screen time is because they are not main characters anymore. In the new expansion, specifically regarding the first half of the story, we did receive feedback saying the tempo wasn't good and it could be sped up a little more. But considering that this was new adventure, we are journeying new land, we are meeting new people, yeah, I think it's okay. Because it's a brand new episode, I think it's okay. This group of people who are able to accept it are people that understand that it's a new episode. On the other hand, these people who wanted it to be different are people that think that this should be 6.0. And it's pretty normal for a new saga. It's like when you go and watch Star Wars, the final trilogy, people expect something new. But everybody knows that The Force Awakens is supposed to be a brand new chapter. How do you satisfy both camps? You know, I just don't think you can, right? Okay, in regards to the Scion playing a more active role only later in the story, truth be told, this is something I intentionally want to try out. Yeah, I understand there are people who always want the Scion to be a center of story, but at the same time, there are people who are requesting something new instead. Yeah, exactly. I think it's fine. I don't have any problem with the Scions being left out. I really don't. Because they are not main characters anymore. Their story ended. They are literally side characters now. And I thought that Lemart being the main character, the main NPC, I think it makes sense. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Dawntrail. It would just be called yet another insert name for the Hydaelyn Zodiac Saga. Yo, what the f is this? New story doesn't justify Dogwater story. I haven't talked about the quality of the story yet. I'm talking about the Scions. Let's be honest, the quality is never going to be Shadowbringer. And it's a brand new story. What do you expect? I feel like some of you guys expect too much, man. And you should. You know, the game is popular. The game be 10 years. It's a Final Fantasy game. It should be awesome. I get it. But why would you surprise if it's not? If it's a new one? And again, now we are talking about Scion. The Scion should not even be there. If we wanted them to all stand out as key character and part to be one story, it's a really difficult process. I think moving forward, we should consider certain situation. For example, maybe only how to say, yeah. Or maybe that would be a story where only Elfin or Alice play a part. Unfortunately, we have to take this approach. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. I think this is at least better than the character being retired or dead. The fact that they go with you, but they have a smaller role, I think it's fine. Some people are okay with it, some people are not. Because some cannot accept that it's a new story. Yeah, I personally think Elfinor and Alice is overstayed already. I mean, even Y'shtola overstayed already. Thancred literally had nothing to do with this expansion. Why force him in? His story ended in Shadowbringer. His entire purpose ended in Shadowbringer. Okay, we are very close to completing such a FanFest live stream. Is there a danger of listening to... Oh, here we go. No, that's actually a good question. Firstly, with regards to why I keep a close distance to community, I don't think it's a really appropriate way to approach it. Yup. But rather, to me, it's really important to have a mutual understanding, okay? Starting by Ultimate Online, I play a lot of MMO, and my history as an MMO player is really long. I know developers. There's a group of players who don't read them, and the don't explain why it changed. So certain players mean that, hey, why do we have gone nerf my class, okay? I believe they must really want the player to enjoy the game, and that's what behind their motivation updating. However, they decide to carry out those changes and need to carry out are not accurately conveyed to the other players. And consequently, amongst the player base, they have an increased sensation of frustration when players themselves start to suspect developers are not even playing their own game. He's throwing a shit at World of Warcraft. Bro, I don't even think World of Warcraft developed their own game, let's be honest. The amount of bugs exploit every expansion. I don't even think WoW developers make their own game. As a result, a lot of people start dropping out of the game and negative effect on the developers. The people in charge in the development team will change and just continue to go downward from there. I encountered this kind of situation. Yeah, I mean, even for him working, right? He has experienced himself, right? Always see games dying and then always find himself on the other end of receiving a dying project, you know, every single time, right? Okay, this one is mainly talking about development. He hasn't really talked about Viper yet. Yeah, okay, now this part I agree. In regards to Viper, right? A lot of community feedback is, why do you make Viper easier? Those are the people that got upset because their job become easy, but they never really think about why the developer do it. Yeah, I guess this kind of explains why. Because still, let me tell you, Nauseous Nash is just bad. And if you only play now and you didn't know how bad it is yet, that doesn't mean that the developers who have done this game for 10 years don't already know why it's bad. Because you got Warrior Storm's Eye before that works exactly the same and people hated it. Now, you weren't there. You started in Shadowbringer. You started in Endwalker. You started in Dawn Trail. Warrior literally had the exact same Nauseous Nash in 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And they suck. That's why they remove it. And once they remove it, it is very well received. Everybody loved it. And that's why when Reaper came out with Dev Design, everybody hated it again. But at least Reaper 1 is an improved version of Storm's Eye / Nauseous Nash. It's a button by itself. It's not tied to a combo. It's 30 to 60 seconds, right? Dev Design being reintroduced as the new Storm's Eye was okay. It's still bad, but it's okay. But Nauseous Nash is just garbage, man. Like, we've seen it fail before already. Why would you do it again, right? So this time they immediately identify it and they immediately fix it. So I think it's okay. Because again, they are more experienced, they encountered it before, but you didn't. So you don't know the perspective why they do it. You don't know the perspective of why some of us players say that it's bad. So in a way, I would say, I think it's important that they have their own principle. Now trust me, I play this game long enough. If they make a bad decision, trust me, I will be all over them. I will all over them if they make a bad decision. I'm not gonna, you know, shield for them, right? They don't pay me. I'm paying to play their game. I obviously also want the game to be good or better, right? If they make a shitty decision, trust me, I'll be on it. Some of these like 1 year, 2 year old, 3 year old player, I'm not saying that your feedback is not important, right? But some of you guys are just holy man. The job is new. I just leveled it to 90. I haven't even get to level 100 yet. I never even get to try to play the game yet and you nerf it already? Bro, then you are late to the party. So wait, let me guess. If you haven't played Viper for 5 years, I need to wait for you to play 5 years later for you to then tell me that maybe Nauseous Nash is No, shut the fuck up. I'm going to listen to people who play it since day one and people that actually try to min-max it and understand the frustration of the not fun part of the job, which is Nauseous Nash. Viper now is awesome, but I also don't think that they should have removed it entirely. I think they should just extend it. Or maybe just make it a separate button like Dev Design. I mean, it's annoying, right? Think about it. The combo is 3-parter and it's a debuff you need to apply to a mob. So if you change target, you need 3 GCD before you get the buff / debuff. It's so annoying, right? So bad. Okay, with regards to the change to the Viper, we have adjusted right until the last minute, and we didn't have in mind the possibility that some players might provide feedback that it was too busy to play. We did release the job in the state, and then we found a lot of players say it's very busy to play to the extent. Okay, because when we do it at media tour, it was not busy because we are hitting a striking dummy, and there was no content at level 100 for us to do at the media tour. The only thing we could do is the level 91 dungeon, and the level 91 dungeon was pretty bad. It is only until the 95 dungeon then you start seeing Dawn Trail content challenge, right? Oh my god, a normal dungeon is actually we could wipe. An expert dungeon we have to learn, but the 91 dungeon there's nothing to learn. The 91 dungeon is literally a carbon copy of an Endwalker dungeon, right? So, and it's level 91, so we are not playing at level 100, and we got limited time, and we are just hitting a striking dummy. So it never really felt busy. It never really felt like you will drop Nauseous Nash. But when you get the bird, and then you get Zoroja, then you have to deal with the mechanic. Then you realize that the job is busy. So we didn't know. As players, we also didn't know, right? The battle team right until the last minute will consider whether to make any adjustment to the job. The battle director actually consulted with me because he was quite torn about whether they should go through with adjustment or not. We announced that we are considering making adjustment to the job, but the response to that was a lot of feedback from players who already reached a level cap. Yes. You say this is important. This right here is so important, telling you that they take feedback, but only for players who are already used to playing the job, not you who are still leveling. Hey, I don't have problem with Nauseous Nash. Yeah, because you don't, because all you have on your hotbar is this button. You probably never press the other one because you ask yourself, wait, why do I want to press the other button when I can just keep refreshing? Oh, I don't have problem with Nauseous Nash. Yeah, because you're a player. Why would a developer listen to a player? However, we already identified some actions which would inevitably be a cause for stress of players. Nauseous Nash. Eventually, we just went through with the adjustment that we had initially planned, and that was unrelated to the community feedback. However, I believe probably there was some misunderstanding on the community's part. I don't remember on social media, especially in NA and Europe, some people will say, hey Yoshida, you are listening too much to the community feedback, but that was only a little bit, so you don't need to worry. Nice. Okay. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the developer need to make their own game. Social media is a mistake. You can even say that people like me is a mistake. The fact that I'm criticizing the game pressured the game developer to make changes that is against their philosophy. It's also bad. Because at the end of the day, you want to play Final Fantasy XIV? You don't want to play. You want to play Final Fantasy XIV mid by Square Enix. You don't want to play Final Fantasy XIV mid by social media. With its expansion, the game has grown massively. There are new characters, new area, new job. Do you foresee where it's too big and unwinding? How are you going to avoid that? For the fact that players would not be able to complete all content as an MMO players myself, I know the grid. In 40, we have a lot of different content players can enjoy in different ways. There are many housing enthusiasts, ultimate raid. It doesn't matter to them whether ultimates they are true. On the other hand, we do have hardcore players that are super interested in investing in ultimate raid, but they are not necessarily so interested in housing. And again, we have a group of players that are really interested in fishing. Those people who are really hardcore ultimate raiders probably want to get ultimate raid every patch update. And every people who are really into their housing probably want more housing type every patch. They want bigger plots, they want more possibility customizing their house. I don't think there's going to be people who say, oh no, we don't have any more, we don't want any more content. Yeah, no. I don't think anybody will ever say they don't want any more content, yeah. Achievement hunters would maybe say that there are too many achievements to get. Now, this is the part that achievement hunter don't understand. You can never finish achievement hunting. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you will realize that whatever you are doing right now, in a way, quote unquote, is wasting time. The achievement system is a never-ending grind. If you want to grind a certain amount of points, let's just say you want 90% of achievement points at any time fulfilled, that's okay. But if you actually for once think that you will complete your achievement, yeah, you better start waking up. You never will. For me, the idea of MMO is to have so much volume of content that you cannot actually play through it all. Exactly, achievement, right? Because that, my mind is that why would you log into the game and you would just think to yourself, what should I do today? What should I do this or should I do that? There's so much volume where you can just consider like you would in real life. You want to do based on your mood. We want to continue expanding the game, continue to create new content, and also continue to maintain our older content so that it's always relevant for people who want to try it out. I think it's necessary to continue MMO. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh. In terms of the game story, we are in the source. We have been to a couple of Reflection Void, the World of Light. Can you expect to go through all of them? Ooh. Okay, again, I said this earlier, right? This is not a game that Yoshi P started from the beginning. This is not the game that he thought that will become what it is today. But the fact that it turned out to be what it is today, great. It's been 10 years. The first saga, the main saga ended. Now he have to create something new. Can he create something new? If they want to play the safe route, they can literally just go to a new shard every expansion. And we got the next 10 years of Final Fantasy. If he wants to make sure that Final Fantasy XIV don't become shit in terms of story, he can just always go to a new shard every expansion. If they want to take this route, they can. If we were to give you a hint that we will be going to the next round, and let's say we've already been reflected, people will know where we're going to see. Yeah. It would not be, it will be too predictable, right? We want to ensure that we keep the excitement. That's why we don't really go into the specifics. Oh, I forgot that one additional element. There's still the past and future. Oh no. What is the point of the past if it doesn't affect the future? So you're telling me that the past and the future have a link? So you're telling me that all the things that we done can be done? So it's like you are shit on yourself, right? If you do past and future, you're just gonna shit on yourself. You know? I don't really want to limit the possibility of what could happen because we really do want to keep our keeper excited, thinking what will happen next. And I'm a little bit of a jokester myself, so I told you to look forward to what might come. Dawn 3 also released okay, not interested in this. Okay, yeah, first interview done. Okay, I mean, decent. If we are talking about the future of Final Fantasy with the Science Xeno, we have defeated 2 strong antagonists who have taken a lot from us. Will there be similar iconic enemies in the future? What the f is this? Of course that's gonna be. How is this even a question? Of course that's gonna be. Otherwise, who else? What, Tataru? What does this interviewee expect? Will we once again see a Scion from the current group die? Okay. They cannot do it again. They cannot do it anymore already. It is too late to kill any of the Scions right now. If you want to do it, you should have done it early. The longer you drag, the harder it is to kill. First and foremost, of course, this is something I cannot talk about, but I cannot say that the possibility is no longer possible. But if you say that you missed the strokes of fate, I can tell you that even the development team has been crying in planning the death of Hoshifon. No, they didn't. Hoshifon was a random NPC created at the beginning, and him dying had effects, but not the effects that we see today. No, I don't believe this. I don't believe this fully. Are they sad? Yes. Are they like super sad? No. Today, sure. When they first created it, no. I don't believe it. There's a reason why he's designed so normie. As a normie character, there's a reason. And when it happened in the game and the players could experience it over his big screen, because even players would stop playing. So we want to renounce, if possible, the element of death, only to bring more drama in the... They can never kill the current one already. Now, Wak Lemat though, I think if you want to consider killing a character, I think you got one right there that you can, and I think most people would be okay with. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate her, right? But I do think that if you ever want to kill someone in the current group, it has to be Wak Lemat. You cannot kill anybody else. You can't kill Istola. I mean, you can retire them, but you can't kill them, right? Ooh, okay. I do hope that there is a crossover for Monster Hunter WoW with Final Fantasy XIV. Not because I'm interested in the Final Fantasy XIV's Monster Hunter event, which I know is gonna be it's gonna be a fate, it's gonna be reward. The Rathalos gear don't even look like Rathalos gear, whatever, I don't care. I am more excited about what Monster Hunter WoW have for Final Fantasy XIV content. Now more than ever, I have completed New Week 1 and the difficulty seems to have fallen further. Is this only because this was the beginning of the raid, or did they expect less from the players? Okay, first part is obviously mechanic, right? Okay, if we look at the first part, the mechanic, then I think we have some unique attack patterns this time. Okay, if he just talk about attack patterns, I agree it's different. Like, instead of everything cardinal, intercardinal, cardinal save, intercardinal not save, this time it's a little bit more different. Like, even if you look at Fields Down, for example, how the bomb's orientation is different, right? It's diagonal. It's a line of safe spot, a small safe spot, and then you have to spread, not just like spread cardinal or spread intercardinal, right? You have to like spread close tight within the tree bomb, or you put one guy at a one bomb and then three guys stay in the tree bomb, right? So I do think that attack patterns did change. But changing attack pattern doesn't mean that it's harder. It is just harder to get accustomed to. It's like 1 + 1 and 2 × 1. It's the same thing. But 1 + 1, you know how to do 1 + 1 because you know how to do additive before you learn multiplication, right? So 1 + 1 and 2 × 1 is the same thing. But are they difficult? No, right? So changing pattern, changing the way you ask the question is just throwing people off the first time. But it's not more difficult. But see, it was the first raid in Dawn Trail. We don't want to make it too hard. See, that's a problem. Why not? It should be accessible and done for as many people as possible. Why? It's Savage. Why? So that they also have the motivation to want to play in the future rate. Okay, now, okay, this makes sense, okay? In terms of mechanic, I give him that. I will give him that, right? They don't want to go mechanics. They don't want to make mechanics too hard. They change attack pattern. It is still hard to cope. It's different. If they want to make mechanics more accessible, they don't want to change too much and throw. Okay, first part, I agree, okay? Let's look at the second variable, the DPS. I asked him in China Fan Fest as well, right? Yeah, they cannot nerf Picto, right? And because people enjoy it, right? But since many people love to play, we decided to adapt the DPS classes of the Pictomancer, so we have raised the attack value of other classes. Okay, I heard that these are now disappointed, and at the current time I'm developing the raid for 7.2, which will once again be more unique and difficult elements in store for these players. In addition, there's the ultimate raid, which will play probably in 7.1. This will become heavy, difficult, I guess, so prepare yourself. After looking at Arcadion, I'm just gonna take this with a grain of salt. Not because I don't trust you, because I don't want to use sentiments. Sentiments means that you're biased, and sentiments make you willing to accept flaws. I believe him, but until I do it and until the ultimate make me suffer, I'm not gonna believe you. It's nice to see that you acknowledge that it's too easy. It's nice that you still acknowledge that ultimate will be hard, but I need to do it to see how it is. Because your hard and your new way of doing mechanics versus what we actually see is a complete different story. And then when we look at EX Dungeon, when we look at the EX Trial, I wouldn't say that they were a difficult bump, but when I look at EX Trial and I look at EX Dungeon, I actually feel that they did something different. This Savage, I really didn't feel like they did something different. The only difference that I felt is that somehow they make it too easy. And we are not even just talking about DPS check. Dude, even the mechanic, like turn 2, okay, mechanics. Dude, turn 2 mechanics are too easy. Can you guys answer me? Why is Honeybee Lovely Beat 2 consider a Savage difficulty mechanic? Can you guys explain to me why Mustard Bomb is considered a Savage mechanic? Can you guys explain to me why the Thunder Pillars is considered a Savage mechanic? Now, Witch Hunt I think is a Savage mechanic. Twilight Midnight I think is a Savage mechanic. I think Sunrise is a Savage mechanic. The other that I mentioned, why are they even in the fight? There are truth in some of the things that he say, but at the same time, it's one thing that you say it, but this is the other that we are experiencing it, and our experience is different. Okay, yeah, this second one is okay. Oh, okay. Yoshida has big plans to build on Dawn Trail's combat. Okay, this one I think is the most important one. At Gamescom, I asked for Yoshi P about the combat content in Dawn Trail, increasing the challenge and the 24-man Savage. It's so random, right? At Media Tour, I asked him, it was just a suggestion. and then he went to France, and then he said that they are thinking about it. And then now suddenly it's like it's there. When did it become official? Maybe this interview, maybe when he sat down and asked, maybe that's where Yoshi P finally confirmed it, I guess. Because the first time I asked, no plans. Second time at France, thinking about it, and then now it's there. Right, so I wonder where did that transit from? Well, the story is cited as the biggest reason why 14 is one of the best MMO of all time. I always love the act of playing it as well. Yup. While Adore and Walker Raid and Alliance Fry, they certainly can feel a bit too much more in the park. Yeah, too easy. I feel that M Walker is where they lost track of story and combat content. And honestly, I think story is to blame why 24-man raid and the Pandemonium raid is overall not very well received, because story, especially the 24-man. The 24-man got fucked because of story. The story is great, but the 24-man content becomes so easy because of story, because there is no normal mode. Like Savage Pandemonium, you can at least say that there's a normal mode, and then Savage, they can up the difficulty, right? But the 24-man, they cannot up the difficulty because you have to... There's only one version, and the story is important. Yoshi P himself said prior to Dawn Trail launch that he felt that 14 combat is too repetitive, okay? His plan then is to increase the variety of mechanics players see, and hopefully pushes to think a bit more and build our own strategy to respond to fight. Dawn Trail has certainly delivered so far, I agree. Okay, so this is where it becomes official. So the next live letter, we're gonna see it. There's more to come before we get there. Of course, Impact 7 will be having the 11 crossover. We are also creating a 24-man Savage, which is shaping up to be really good. Okay, so there it is. It's finally confirmed here. See, this is the part that I was saying earlier, right? How do we get from here to here? How did we get from here to here within 3 months? Do you have plans for 24-man? No plans for now, but please look forward to it. This was 3 months ago. I don't believe he go back to the headquarters and he's like, yo, someone asked about 24-man Savage, make it happen, and 3 months they poop it out. I don't believe it. No plans for 7.0 is technically correct. Oh, I mean, oh, you're not wrong. No plans for 7.0, but got plans for 7.1. Oh, I see. So I hope players will look forward to it. Yoshida mention of a 24-man Savage has sparked much discussion, so I asked whether... Okay, good. Okay, this interviewee... No, I love the fact that he asked this question, because so many people in this comment, a lot of people think that, what do you mean? It's literally just the DRS, right? It's literally just... it's gonna be in 7.2. It's gonna be the 24-man Savage instead of the 48-man Savage. So technically speaking, this is nothing new. Right, so I like how this interviewee literally asked him next. Is this tied to the Alliance raid or is it tied to the field operation? Okay, so firstly, with regard to the Alliance raid, it's designed as usual so that players can enjoy the experience. Ugh. But having that said, we have received feedback that Alliance raid are getting too simple, so we have designed in a way that it's okay. I mean, look, man, it's Final Fantasy XI, man. It cannot be too easy. If it's Final Fantasy XI and it's a walk in the park, I would fucking riot. This has to be at least evenly difficulty. I'm not expecting this to be a Savage. I'm not expecting this to be unclearable. I just want this to be fun, where we go in the first time, we wipe a couple of times. Every boss, we wipe a couple of times. And we come out of the instance the very first time, maybe taking up 60 to 80 minutes. Day one, we log in, we want to play the game, and we spend quality 60-80 minutes to learn the 3 bosses. And then we can go out and we share the experience, tell people how hard it is. Oh my god, this 24-man is a bloodbath. You know, oh my god, I cannot wait to do it again. Oh shit, I want to go and do it again. Oh, you need help? I will help you do it again. I want people to feel that doing a 24-man is fun, and not like the Myth of Eosia. The Myth of Eosia was too easy. I wouldn't even consider Myth of Eosia a difficulty, right? The Myth of Eosia is literally story mode. So hopefully Echoes of Vana'diel is not story mode, right? Hopefully we go in, we learn a couple of pulls, you know? Currently, what we will say about the normal Alliance raid in terms of the difficulty is that it's quite standard. In the development team, we always have this discussion, and it's tough to decide on where we will draw the line in terms of compromise. We always need to consider that the average item level of gear that players have is going to be, and it's really difficult to predict. Sometimes that average item level can be, then put a sync on it. If you cannot balance the fight properly, then put a sync on it. Gearing in this game don't matter. It's the same for Ultimate. You can't do Ultimate without Beast gear, or rather without max item level gear. Then make it that way. This 24-man also make it that way. Just sync it. F it. Sometimes the average item level can be above what's expected, but sometimes it falls below. When we are testing content, we include members of our marketing and PR teams, and we found out that there are times that we just wipe and wipe. And there are some times that we just end up running through it, super easy clear. So it's really difficult to decide where we draw the line. So we are really torn all the time. However, this time when we are making the alliance rate, we are decided very clearly what we wanted. Okay, when the players go through on their first playthrough, they probably won 3 times. This was what we felt good line to draw. Okay, it's not that we want to make it difficult, but yeah, exactly. It's not that we want ultimate or savage difficulty. It's not that we don't want it to be clearable in week 1. I do think that the 24-man should be clear in a lockout. Be expected to stay in there. First time, blind, no guide, 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Now, if you don't want to deal with that, then don't play on patch day. If you only want to go in quick, 30 minutes and get out, then wait for the weekend. If you are an enthusiastic first-time blind player going in the first time, you should expect to spend about 90 minutes average. I think that's the best compromise. You should put in work. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be clean in the first lockout. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be clean the first day. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be clean the first week. I'm not saying that it should be a savage difficulty. I'm not saying that it should be an EX difficulty. I'm not saying that it should be the ultimate difficulty. It's like doing an expert dungeon, right? This time the expert dungeon is harder, right? I think that when we were all in 710 gear, 700 new Ishgard gear, I think when we go in, I think average we take about 30 minutes this time instead of 20, 15, right? Most people, the Cactuar just kill people. The first boss of the theme park just wipe people, right? The first boss of Alexandria, the antivirus, that one also kill people, right? So I do think that it should be like that. We want to provide exciting experience for play. Yeah, exactly. I hope that they will experience that. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And also, it's Final Fantasy XI. I expect some sort of standard. Final Fantasy XI is a senpai of 14. Final Fantasy XI is a way harder game in terms of the physical demands, in terms of the grind, in terms of progression. It's harder. But obviously 14 got a better fights, right? So if you cannot do that for an 11 fight, you cannot provide the grind, you cannot provide the things that 11 was hard, then you need to provide the hard things in 14 to make this FF11 team 24-man, make it justifiable, right? So hopefully, on the other hand, the 24-man Savage, this is going to be a completely different boss. So it's going to be a complete different content. Hopefully this is not a one-off. I feel like the interviewee should ask, so is this content gonna be something that is gonna be a common theme moving forward? Because I hope it's not just a one-off. I hope it's just not one time and then we never see it again, you know? That's certainly an exciting prospect, and you will be interested to see how the team has developed mechanics for a larger group to handle at once. Past Alliance Rate has incorporated some really fun ideas back like Crystal Tower, but many of these mechanics are noticeable delay due to the sheer power average player, okay? In closing, oh, that's it. I asked Yoshi P about the response to recent Savage tier. It was certainly a delight. Our players across the board find it clear, really clear. Okay, too easy, right? Okay, so is the 24-man Savage gonna be before or after Ultimate? If it's before Ultimate, you think it's after? I don't think it's after. I think it has to be before. If it's after, half the raiders wouldn't have time for it. You know what I think it's gonna be? I think that we're gonna get a normal 24-man, and then the 24-man Savage is gonna be the final boss of the 24-man. We will fight Shadow Lord as the 24-man Savage, I think. It's a completely different content, right? It's not within the fight. So I do think that when you finish the 24-man, you unlock a duty that is a Savage of this. Now, if there's a Savage, I assume there will be a normal mode. So most likely, we will see the 24-man raid, and then we unlock a 24-man trial, and then we have a Savage of the 24-man. I don't think you can put this Savage late in point 1, because if you put it late, then what is your reward gonna be? What if the reward is What if the reward is good? Why don't you implement it earlier? It cannot be during Ultimate. If it's during Ultimate, you don't have time. Half the raiders is progging Ultimate. Nobody's got time. And if nobody got time, it will not feel as organic. Like BA. BA was good, but BA wasn't like super well received because a lot of people didn't do Eureka. So if they put this 24-man like during Ultimate, half the raiders don't have time for this. Hopefully it's before Ultimate and way after Ultimate. You cannot put it between Ultimate. No way. You know, for Final Fantasy XIV, right? Odd patches used to be the most boring one. Now the odd patches are the fun one. Now the even patches are the boring one. The 0.0, 0.2, 0.4, all you get, it's a fucking Savage. I do think they should do this 24-man Savage in the even patch 0.5. So 8 weeks after you clear the Savage tier, you get a 24-man Savage, which is the turn 5 of the raid tier. So let's just say the Wicked Thunder Phase 2 should be a standalone fight for 24 man. If I were to do it, that is what I would do. So that your even patch have something to look forward to in between. Because right now, even patch is really boring. Now, I think 7.2 onwards Criterion is gonna come in, so I guess that's okay. Yeah, but hopefully this 24 man Savage is a long-term content, man, and not just a one-off. Hopefully. Nah, it cannot be same time. There's no way they put it at the same time. And also, guys, it's a 24 man Savage. It's not a 24 man Ultimate. The 24 man Savage, one fight will die in a day. And then if you're in a casual group, or even if you cannot find a group, it will be PFable. It will be PFable within the week. And if it cannot be PF within the week because you are maybe, you know, like the lowest scum of PF, it will be clear within 2 weeks before Ultimate. And hey, if you don't do Ultimate, all those people that cleared it already go to do Ultimate, you haven't cleared and you don't plan to do Ultimate, you continue progging to clear the 24 man. That's okay, that's perfect. So I do think they should release it immediately. I guess we will find out in the next live letter. I just pray they make the rewards in it really good. It will not be good. I will tell you that right now, the reward will not be good. The reward will be insignificant. Nothing the reward that the 24 man Savage is going to drop is gonna make you stronger in Ultimate. It's not gonna make you stronger than you already could be. It's probably supplements. Maybe another coat and twine. So your 24 man give you a coin to buy a coat or twine, and then that 24 man Savage just give everybody a coat and twine. Or give you a great trial material.